To all of the queens on the panel, I want to give you guys all an opportunity. If you could just take 30 seconds going down the line, introduce yourself, tell us what projects you got coming up that you'd like to plug, and we'll start with Trixie.
Hello. I'm interested in microphone technology. This panel is sponsored by karaokeversion.com. And no, my name's Trixie Mattel. I'm an American comedian, model, and folk musician. And I'm currently working on fixing the air conditioner in my condo. But I'm weekly on my YouTube series, and I'm writing my next album currently.
Yes.
Hi, my name is Blair St. Clair. I have just currently released a new single under this amazing collaboration we've had with ADA Records and Warner Music, and it is called Easy Love. So if you're streaming anything right now, you can check that out. And I'm currently working on a full-length EP at the moment, which we're really excited about. But also, I just want to say thank you to each and every one of you guys for supporting us and all that we do and all that we love to share, which is music and creativity. And so happy to be here. So thank you so much.
Hi, I'm Manila Luzon.
Yes.
I've been doing drag music for a really long time. I just released an album earlier this year called Rules, and I've been having a lot of fun making dresses to wear while singing my songs. So currently I'm working on more outfits to wear so that when I'm singing my songs, I look cute too.
That's
yeah,
great.
work.
Hello. My name is Alaska, like the state. I recently put out an album as well. What? And it's called Vagina. And it's available now on iTunes. Thank you.
Thank you, Alaska. Hey, I'm Peppermint, and I have also had a few drag albums out, I guess you would call it that. I've recorded music for a while, but I just recorded a brand new single that I'm excited about. It's called What You Looking For, and I'll be hosting the GLAAD Awards next month. And I'm working on a new album. It's not called Vagina.
Hi, everyone. My name is Ryan Aceto. I'm the head of A&R at PG Records, helping these wonderful humans make music. And I'm excited to be here on this panel that I think is probably the stuff of Republicans' nightmares.
That's right. Yes, honey, Donald Trump is quaking. So, getting into it, there has obviously been a lot more representation for drag in television, a little bit in film, and yet, for some reason, it seems that the music industry is kind of lagging behind. And I wanted to ask you guys, why do you think that is? What is it about the structures in the music industry that is preventing drag queens from getting ahead?
I think I have an answer for that. Most of us can't sing.
How is that any different from the music industry at large?
Girl.
Sip that tea, girl. Sip that tea. Auto-tune doesn't just apply to drag queens. I mean, let's be real. If we're going to talk about the technology.
Fair.
Well,
It's getting hot in here all of a sudden.
Well, I mean, I think there's a lot of reasons and there's a lot of things at play. I mean, there's always been, for a long time, there's been like extreme misogyny in the music industry, especially. And so that definitely, I mean, we get a huge brunt of that. And if there's someone, if it comes down to the person sitting in the office on the top floor and they don't get it, like they don't get what the fuck this is, then they don't get it. So they don't, they don't promote it and they don't put it on the radio. And but luckily, there's a lot of people out there who do get it, and that's important.
That's right. Yeah.
I think there's a lot of habits that take place and trends that take place in these industries. And I think just like the film and television industry, for a while, I think that they were just geared towards if there was something new, they had like these kind of sort of perfunctory questions that they would ask, like who's the straight white male lead, and that's who's going to carry it, or and they would just go. That ties into the misogyny that you were talking about, and I think, it's about not wanting to take risks, and I think certain industries just don't want to take risk if they don't have to. But we all know the saying that what's on the other side of risk is great reward, and so when we have folks, now that we have kind of a landscape where people are able to kind of put out their own music and the independent artist has gotten a much larger platform, these industries are now playing catch up and saying, well, maybe we will. It's no mystery why casting directors and other industries look towards people's social media to see how proven they are in just public. And so I think that's a big part of it. Another thing is we finally are at the time, because I remember we've had queer artists forever, obviously, but I was really excited about the Logo channel when it first came out and how the opportunities they were providing to queer musicians, and myself being one of them. And it was really interesting to see how many folks in the gay bars were so excited about Madonna's new album, but really couldn't give anything about a trans person, a queer person, a gay person, a lesbian putting out their own music. And I think we're starting to see that shift just a little bit.
Bitch, that is the tea. That is, I always think of like Todrick Hall, who's like incredible lyricist, choreographer. But like in the gay, yes. You better clap for Todrick Hall. And if you don't clap for Todrick Hall, guess what, Mary? You're a homophobe, okay?
Thunderous applause.
But he's the RuPaul of the Disney Channel. But the great thing, but I always think, like, if you watch the Nails, Hair, Hips, Heels video, if you look at Todrick Hall, and even in the gay world, gay people have such a hard time supporting gay people even. If a white woman with blonde hair was doing what Todrick did, gays would fall the fuck out. But because Todrick's a good-looking man of color, gays are like, whatever, he's fine. So like even in gay world, people need to remind themselves, like, if you don't support shit, it goes away or never happens.
That's right.
Say it again, bitch.
Also, what's holding us back is that everybody thinks that I'm Blair St. Clair, so.
It happens all the time. It just happens.
Well, Blair, you did mention earlier that there is this really wonderful new deal happening with Producer Entertainment Group. You guys recently signed up for a distribution deal with Warner Music's ADA, which is the Alternative Distribution Alliance. Wanted to make sure I got that right. So for Ryan and for the other queens on this panel, what do you think that kind of a deal means for drag musicians as a whole?
Well, it starts to provide a little bit of a more even playing field. It starts to prove that people are willing to take, as you said, the risk, and show real support, actionable support. It's like putting, your words and your money where your mouth is. And I think it's so important, and we're so excited to be part of this because we have such an incredible roster of talent that deserves to be heard. These are artists in their own rights, and they deserve to be heard. So I think the fact that we now have a partner helping us take their music to another level and to reach more people, it's really important and really exciting.
I think to piggyback on top of that, what's so exciting for me, and I can't speak for everyone, but what I think is really great is that this just opens up such an amazing opportunity for all of us, and to be able to share with the world that we all as individuals, we make music. And I think so many people label that and they call it gay music because we happen to be queer artists, which music doesn't have a gender, it doesn't have a sexual orientation. Music to me is just music, and music that I create, I want to create emotion with it. I want my music to transcend other people, and I either want them to dance or to cry or to laugh with me, and I don't want someone to say like, that is great gay music, because to me, great music is just music, and it's just great music. And with this distribution deal, I think it's so amazing that we're able to share on such a larger platform, have more people listen, and be able to talk to more people and let people know that what I do is not strange or weird or obscure. I'm just celebrating what I love about myself, and I think it's so great that we have this opportunity.
I would just add real quick. They're putting out amazing art, and we just want the chance that people can make the decision if they like it or not. You know what I mean? Like, people will stream it or not, but they deserve the opportunity for everyone to hear it, and then you make the choice. But I think I can tell you personally, the stuff that's coming down the pipeline from all of them is good, real good.
A little teaser. We love it.
That pipeline's clean too.
Girl.
Stepped right into that.
I have to say too, I think it's funny because for a while we would not get recognition, which financially sometimes would be fierce because people at the top would be like, "There's no money in that," and we'd be counting money like, "Okay, yeah, there's no money in that," but then there is a certain amount of like you need to be recognized so that you can get over that hump of like, again, thinking of people as gay music. Listening to this doesn't make you gay the same way listening to Gloria Estefan doesn't make you a great dancer. You know what I mean? Like, you don't pick up gayness from music. You don't.
That's right. Well, and obviously there's also this ongoing discussion that's been happening for the last God knows how long about drag in the mainstream, whether or not drag is mainstream, and especially seeing some of the queens on this panel, especially showing up on Billboard charts. I mean, I don't think it's deniable that, yes, drag has reached a new level of popularity than it's ever experienced. But my question would be, with the music that you guys are making, at what point does it become about serving the audience that's always been there and trying to serve a new audience, if that makes sense?
Simultaneously?
Sure, yeah.
Well, I can't speak for everyone else, but I don't really think about the audience when I'm making the music, really, when you're doing it, because I feel like as an artist, you're just creating something of your own and letting whoever listens to it be the people that interpret how they want it to. So when you do make, when you make music, if the people that liked it before like it still, or if there's more people that like it that are different, then that's fine. It doesn't really matter. But yes, I mean, it's hard because you're like, oh, I really wish Madonna would go back to her way, like go back to like Confessions on a Dance Floor. But you're giving us Madonna as a typewriter, you know? Wow. It's hard.
I get that.
But you know what? Like, you do what you do. Like, whatever you feel like doing as an artist, this is the art that you want to make, then you make it. And if someone listens, then someone listens.
Madonna's not here, right? Okay.
No, but there's a typewriter in the corner. I think it's sort of both, all of those things. I mean, look, if it's the music business and we're talking about like taking a song from writing it and producing it to eventually touring with it or performing or whatever, then at some point in the game, there probably is a little bit of consideration about who's going to listen or what we want to happen with it. Which is why for so long, I had a lot of walls about putting out music anyway, because I was like, well, I don't sound like some other, what people think women should sound like. I'm not necessarily talking about what other queens are talking about. And now kind of, this is the first time, like I'm working on an album right now and I'm really like trying to peel back all of those inhibitions and all those things that had stopped me in the past. And I'm just writing exactly what my experience was in the last year as a Black trans woman who does drag and was on Broadway and had some ups and downs. And, you know, I don't know anyone else that has that exact same story, so it might not relate to anybody. I might be the only one watching the video, but it's something I need to talk about. And so I think it's kind of both, you know.
That is so true, because for me, music is like therapy. And it's like, how do I use music as like my process of like, if I'm feeling something, whether it's good, happy, bad, or sad, I'm going to write about it or I'm going to, record it, and I want people to know about it. But I also want people to like listen and to relate in their own way. Like, go through therapy with me. Let's have like a big group therapy together, because that's kind of what music is. Music is your way to like celebrate things together. And I'm glad you said that, it was like your experience, because everyone has their own experience and they interpret things differently, which is perfect. It's what makes it amazing.
Yeah, that's absolutely right. And the other thing that I wanted to talk about, I mean, it is.
Yeah, it is.
The other thing I wanted to talk about, obviously there is this whole drag race phenomenon that's going on right now, where queens from the show are going on to have these amazingly successful careers. And I wanted to know from you guys, obviously having been queens that were on the show, how vital do you think drag race itself is to the success of a queen in her career? Or do you think there is a pathway forward for queens who haven't been on the show?
What? I think it's great. I think it's great that the show exists, and it has created this like entire economy that is like drag queens, you know, because it's not just for the queens, it's the people who are making us our nails and our clothes and our hair and our jewelry. So like that entire economy, also the promoters who are giving us places to do shows. So it's an entire economy that has blossomed out of that. I think it's really awesome if you do get on Drag Race. It's like the golden ticket and like Willy Wonka. Like it's really amazing. But I think there are like more and more, there are more opportunities for if it's not your thing, or if you have no interest of ever getting on the show, I think you can still make it and make something huge. And I think more and more there are more like avenues to do that.
For sure, because we're showing by example like how you can express yourself in the art of drag on such a big level, and that inspires other people who are like, you know what, I also am a drag queen, but actually, you know what, screw that, you know, trying to make a dress and, you know, make funny jokes and look like a fool. I'm just going to use like, oh, I'm a singer and I'm also a beautiful drag queen. Let me just go audition for American Idol instead and try it that way, or do, you know, or just produce your own stuff, because now that people are watching and they want more from drag, I mean, they want so much from us as queens. They're always wanting something new from us, so they can just move on to newer drag queens and they can flourish in their own way.
Yeah, you really don't have to, because I mean, Drag Race, there's so many seasons now. It's not the meal ticket it was. Like, there's like 3 seasons a year, and only a few, like, so, you know, now I think doing Drag Race is wonderful, of course, but it's a ball of wax that like is not permanent, and the people who don't celebrate it and taffy pull it into a career with their content, it's not like this forever ride. You're not set up. You don't own Apple. Do you know what I mean? Like, so it's but if you think of like ABBA being discovered on like there's always people being discovered on television, whatever art form. So like it's not a new thing. But for drag queens, it's certainly like a tighter scope. Before you had to be the drag queen on something, like, is it a he or a she on Maury Povich? You know what I mean? And now it's like. Drag Race actually features our gifts rather than treating us as a potted plant. Like I've, even after Drag Race, been on shows where I'm never the guest on the couch, I'm the fucking ornament. Do you know what I mean? So it's always that line.
The bartender?
No! Oh, shit. But you know, like you're never, even so, we'll get on things, but even the things we're on, we'll never really be the guest still sometimes, you know, so it's a slow process.
What I especially also credit specifically to Drag Race is that Drag Race has given an inside look to who we are as human beings as well. That, you know, if people didn't know what drag was before watching the show, they might have a formed opinion of what they think it is that could be obscure or odd, and they might not understand, but at least they get to see the humanity and who we are and what we are and what we do and what we're passionate about. And that's kind of what I think is the most important part of RuPaul's Drag Race, is not, you know, the shady funny moments and the costumes and glitter and wigs, but it's like, who are these people that transform their entire identity into this amazing being? And that's what the world, I think, is falling in love with. The world is falling in love with, you can be anything you want to be, and you can love that about yourself, and like your inner self is what is like transcending. And then people are just, we're creating this amazing masterpiece of illusion. And that's what I feel like why drag has become such a phenomenon, because people are understanding, wow, I can be that. I don't have to be born biologically male and put on a wig. I can do whatever I want, you know, to be a drag queen. Like, and I think there's drag in everything.
I think, you know, one of what's so interesting about this is that it's drag, the fascination with drag I've always seen. I don't think it's so new. It's a new version with Drag Race. It's much more marketable right now. But people have always had a fascination with drag, and frankly, with anything in the public sphere that challenges gender and does it successfully. People have been fascinated with Liberace and Prince and people like that, obviously for decades, or longer. But I think one of the pieces that was missing is exactly what you said, was that humanity. People can look at them as sort of an ornament or a spectacle, like, look at that guy, look, he looks good in his heels and his guitar, great, he's fabulous, but not really getting a real view inside of who that artist is. And so Drag Race really kind of pulled back the curtain for a lot of people. Totally. And showed that we have so much more in common than not.
Absolutely. And that actually brings me to a really interesting point, that there does seem to be this sort of trend going on right now where there are a lot of mainstream artists who are incorporating drag queens into music videos. I mean, this year, we obviously had You Need to Calm Down by Taylor Swift. Iggy Azalea has been having multiple queens in the videos, including Miss Trixie at the end of the couch. Madonna, Lizzo, Little Mix, so many people have been doing it. And what I wanted to know from you guys is, what responsibility do you think that a lot of these mostly straight artists who want to work with drag queens have towards providing really good and very apt representation of what it means to be a queen today?
Well, I mean, drag, you throw a drag queen in any situation, it becomes way more fun. I mean, yeah. See how much more fun that y'all are having now that a drag queen just starts? So I feel like a lot of people, now that it's a little bit more comfortable, and now that they know that there is a lot more people that are on board with the drag, they're like, yes, let's showcase this even more. It's even safer to have people like Taylor Swift being like, yes, of course I embrace drag. Let's put them in my video. Let's give them all a chance. And we appreciate people that are giving us jobs and opportunities to showcase what we're doing. And we're embracing the people that want to, embrace us and show us off as who we are within their whatever they're doing. You know what I mean? So it's great.
I would say earlier there was a panel, and Shia Diamond said something that really kind of stuck with me, where she said, we're looking for accomplices now, not just allies. And then I think the other thing that stuck with me, Parson James said that we want consistency. So I think it's...
Bitch. It's all right, go ahead. Yes.
The video is putting queens in video is great. What else are we going to do? How else are you going to support? How else are you going to help be in it? I really like that, being an accomplice. You're in it. We got to be in it together. So I think being an ally is it's kind of the...
That's 90s.
That's the last term. Let's do more for each
other.
other.
It's like being tolerant.
Thank you. Yeah, let's do more for each other and be consistent. So what comes after the video? What do you do after they walk off set?
Well, it's like,
I think I'm sorry.
It's like we always joke about how Pride Month, major corporations are your best friend. July 1st, crickets, bitch. It's like, we always joke about that because it's like, we want you until... It's like when a business is like, this is our breast cancer lip gloss. You have to look behind the curtain and go but are you? Or are you just taking, is this a marketing thing for you? You have to look behind the curtain yourself sometimes.
I think we don't even have, yes, that's important to do. We need to know what fitness centers are, affiliated with people we don't want them to be affiliated with.
Which one?
Just,
Name names.
Anyway, but I think I view it a little bit differently, that these corporations and other entities that are, that seem to be dipping in on Pride Month or Pride Day or whatever and painting their thing rainbow or breast cancer awareness and making it pink, that's just them signaling that they're ready to be led in, and it's a one-way door. And so, if you're going to signal, if you're going to be so bold as to put us on your campaign for this month, guess what? We're there permanently. And, and now it's our opportunity and our call to action as a community to hold those entities kind of accountable and not let them remove the rainbow. I mean, you don't have to have a rainbow logo. It's not about that. But I'm just saying, just continuing to hold them accountable and not just, patronizing them only when they have the rainbow sticker on.
Yeah.
Cool.
Thank you, sir.
But if there are any musicians here that need a few drag queens to be in their next music video, you can contact us for their resumes. I see one hand right there. Willem, yes, next video.
Also, I will say this too. A lot of these RuPaul always talks about how drag queens and pop stars do the same thing. We what does he say? The super ego or whatever. Like we portray what people like wish they were, which is like confident, perfect, And like when I was working with Iggy Azalea, she was Mama. We were just both sitting there putting on a wig. Like we are both drag queens. We are the same. Yeah. We are. Like
Completely.
Like I get ready
That's
in
not
90
her
minutes
hair?
today. Like what woman in LA doesn't take 90 minutes to get ready? It's the same thing.
Yeah. I mean, that's a fair point. No, I also wanted to ask you guys, obviously there are a lot of challenges that, queens have to overcome in order to make it in this industry, but what's giving each one of you hope for the future right now, especially for drag queens in music? Like, what out there is making you go, you know what, we're going to make it, and it's going to be great? Oh, wow.
Well, yesterday Ryan and I were at the the Gibson offices, and I played guitar since I was 13 years old, and when I started doing drag, I thought this was the type of thing that would prevent me from ever getting to collaborate with like major guitar instrument retailers. And even yesterday, Ryan, when we were in there, I was like, this is the type of thing that you would think would never happen for a drag queen. 10 years ago when I started, that's the type of thing that would just never happen. So I think that's cool.
Call it cheesy if you will, but I feel like this moment right now is really cool. Like, am I wrong? Like, all these people in this room right now, like, this is pretty freaking amazing that we're having a panel talking about queer artists and drag and music, and that gives me hope in itself. It just gives me hope when I've I don't know, as a little kid, like I wanted to do so many things in my life, and music has been such a large part of that. And I was told like early on in wanting to have a music career that it wasn't going to happen, and it wasn't, my aesthetic and my image wasn't good enough. And that was one of the things that really helped me develop this identity of who I am and what I do. And it gives me hope and clarity now that I see people thriving and loving the same things that I love and supporting what I do. Like in this event itself, like that, there's hope like in music. And I think the more that we see of like queer artistry and growing exponentially, especially in mainstream media, I think it also just gives more hope for people.
I feel really hopeful because of the kids, the children. Really, because I mean we're able to do shows, and I mean the kids who wait in line and they stand outside and they have our T-shirts on, and they like that makes me really hopeful because they have a really low propensity for bullshit. And drag is truth-telling, so we're like on the stage and something real is happening, and they see that. So like, I think that's hopeful for the entire world because we really need some fucking serious truth-telling in the world right now. And so it's excellent that these kids who are going to grow up and inherit the earth, I feel hopeful about the children.
Yeah,
Do you believe that children are the future?
Teach them well.
Yeah, society is slowly catching up, and that's also really great because now it's okay to be gay, and so now it's okay to buy an album that's being produced by gay musicians, and some of these gay musicians wear way too much makeup and hair. So I think it's great. Society is slowly catching up, and we're growing and becoming better. So I think the kids are their future, and I'm gonna have an album ready, waiting for them. Ready.
Yes.
Vagina Part 2.
Yeah. This one's 3 inches further back.
My God. Yes, we do talk to your kids. We sure do.
That's great. Well, listen, we have a couple of minutes left. I can't.
Your little reactions.
I'm sorry.
You're doing good,
so true.
sweetie.
Oh, that's
That is great.
Thank you for reading me on the stage. I needed that.
I love it.
Well, we have a couple of minutes left, and I wanted to open it up to any audience questions that anyone may have. So if you have a question, you throw your hands up. Yes, right here in the front.
Hi, Bambi Salcedo with the Trans Latino Coalition. Hi. Thank you so much for your presence and for everything that you share. Obviously, you're super amazing and you're, most admired. The question that I have is, what do you say or what do you think about protagonism and those individuals who have been named to be activists when are not necessarily on the ground doing work? Does that make sense?
I understand that it's really important that whoever sort of emerges or has the either responsibility or the honor of representing our community as a whole or parts of our community, it's important that they do the work and that they know what they're talking about. But what we really want here, I'm gonna try to say this because I only have a few seconds, but like when we talk about our community right now, LGBTQIA+, and even more, there's so many different pathways to and through our community and connections to our community. And so I do think it's really important that, we may get someone like Taylor Swift who may not consider themselves a part of our community necessarily, but as an ally, if that's what they want to self-describe as. I think it's important to accept all of the support that we can. And at the same time, ask those folks to make room on their platform to help lift up or shine a light on folks who don't have the same platform or whose voices aren't as amplified. I think it's really important that we don't necessarily attack or discredit one person in the community for their story, even if it doesn't match mine, because the only perfect representation of myself is just gonna be me. But I'm not the only one I might not be running for president. I might not be the one who got the record deal. And so if this lovely lady got the record deal, we have a lot of similarities. But, I would implore her to please, try to uplift and shine a light on stories of people that aren't just like her. We need folks who are queer and people of color and trans to have opportunities to tell their own story. And just going back, I've auditioned for everything under the sun since 1990, and there was no distinction between a trans woman and a drag queen. There wasn't a distinction between the prostitute and the trans woman and the drag queen. We were all just sitting in the room, and it was written in that way that there was no difference. And that was not the best representation, but it's all we had at the moment. And my thought is that we'll be able to look towards the future, and the representation that we have right now, the few people that we have right now, may not be perfect in every situation, but it is a pathway. So I just look at it as a pathway to where we need to go to. And they will allow us to stand on their shoulders to do the rest of the work.
That's right. Other questions in the audience?
Peppermint 2020 for president.
Yes, right over here.
Team.
Anyone?
Oh, okay.
Microphone. There we go.
Hi, I'm Lavon Riggins from the LA LGBT Center again. I don't know a lot about drag at all. I just got to California like 5 years ago, and like I've been like, hit hard with the LA LGBT Center or like the community. And like an artist like Christina Aguilera, I remember she like embraced like that community like a long time ago, like early 2000s. and like the way she portrayed it, like in Beautiful, but the way she portrayed like the man, you know, with the makeup on, like I saw someone who was like vulnerable. I saw like a real story, and like with like artists like Taylor Swift, I feel like, you know, I feel like a lot of you guys are being like put into like situations or like on stages where you're just being, you know, put in just to be, you know, you're celebrated in terms of like all you guys can like do is like make people laugh and just look good or whatever, but they're not really trying to indulge into like your stories, like the real in-depth stories. And like, do you feel annoyed that, you know, they don't go as far as trying to actually get to know what you guys actually go through in terms of your real stories, your backgrounds, and like how you were like came up, and like your real struggles and stuff like that? Like, does that get annoying just like to be put on sets where you're just meant to just dance and like, you know, put on makeup and stuff like that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But also not really, because, you know, we do put on all this stuff so that we can look like these more fantastic versions of ourselves. And if you do want to know what our real lives are like, you can follow my Instagram stories and you can see what I had for breakfast. But there, you know, there's like different things or different places and different things for everything. Like, not, you know, of course, Taylor Swift is like, you know, she's having a fun little video, so she doesn't really want to like feature like every single person in her thing, like, oh, here's her backstory, here's what's her problems. No, we're just trying to like make like a cute little video, and the fact that she included it, that's one step. So if you like what you see, it's up to the audience to like be like, oh, let me find out who that is or what's going on with this person. But we're all kind of representing ourselves. Well, except we're covered in makeup and glitter. But like, we're trying to be who we are and representing who we are every time we step out of the house. And, you know, we slap on that fake smile and we take pictures with people, and, you know, we go on stage and we have a great time. Of course, we're all human beings, so that might not be the case when we step off the stage, but it's what we're presenting to the world. And if we want to present the ache and the realness and the vulnerability, we have that opportunity also as well to do that. Just probably not in a Taylor Swift video.
And one more question: do you guys volunteer at all? I would like to know that too.
I sure do.
Yeah.
Would you like to know about it?
I mean, it's not my. It's just.
No,
like,
I'm excited about it.
It's honest because, you know, I believe in the truth, and like you guys have a huge platform. You guys can make a huge difference in a lot of young people's lives, and it's just I just would like to know, like, are you guys doing something with that platform? Because it's a responsibility.
I think we are. I think we're doing it. We're doing it on many levels. I think we're doing it right now.
Okay.
I think. This is a gift and a great opportunity, but this is not just something that we just fell into by accident and have no skill. You know, we are investing I'll speak for these ladies, we are investing our lives back into putting ourselves. This isn't just something that we drew and handed away and you don't know who did it. This is us as people. There's 100% the flesh and blood that's up here, the songs that are being written here, the voices that are up here. This is us, and that's us working every single day before you see that video or that music or that album or the show. We're busting our ass to make sure that it's something that you can be proud of. And so there's that, which is on the front of it. But on the other side, then many of us do take the opportunity to, I mean, personally, I've been volunteering, and I can't even say volunteering, working for free for the HIV Vaccine Trials Network for over 15 years. And, you know, that was before I had a platform on RuPaul's Drag Race. And it's something that I believe in. And I also try to figure out how can I volunteer and talk about AIDS and HIV prevention, but also talk about the importance of saving lives of trans women of color who are being murdered every day, and still be a fun queen that people want to look at on my Instagram. And how can I balance that? And so I think about that every single day. So yes, I do volunteer, and I know they do too.
And also, like, you know, sometimes, you know, we're busy. So sometimes, like, we can't actually physically go down to the soup kitchen and feed the homeless. But what we can do is we can post about it. We can get the word out. We can spread the message. And hopefully other people will hear us and listen to us and also join in as well.
Fantastic. All right, and sadly, I think we're going to have to leave it there, guys. We are out of time. But thank you all so much for joining us today. I really appreciate it. Yeah, that's right. Give it up.
Thank you, guys.